Hey YouTube, how do you usually choose between self-hosted or self-written solutions or solutions as a service, like software as a service? What is your way of choosing between self-hosted that requires time and some resources and is cheap to run, and choosing ready to go, ready to use platform that requires some payments? So the thing is, in engineering communities colleagues I've been working with, there are usually people that kind of do not care what is the way. Like, just give me the API, give me the docs, I will use whatever you give me. Or there are huge fans of having self-hosted solutions. Like, yeah, let's spend 2 months on configuring this service and then we can have it. Like, okay, we can have it within 5 minutes, just putting our credit card there. No, let's go self-hosted. We got all that cool servers, Kubernetes, whatever. And usually it ends up with dumb discussion, like, let's do this, no, let's do that, without actually discussing anything. It's rather opinion exchange. Or it turns out that there are some small differences within the specifications, some behavior differences or some features are or aren't available. Sometimes self-hosted is like more flexible and has more options, or sometimes it's the hosted option that is like more advanced and provides more convenient way of using it. And now I caught myself on the fact that in my mind there is one more thing that pops. Probably this is the sign of getting more mature and thinking more in business terms rather than just the engineering. Another dimension how to think about such a decision is what comes together with that decision. You see, self-hosted is great because if you have a server, you're already paying for it. Most probably it's not overloaded, or you can grab a separate server very cheap, like for $5, $10, and you can run this software there. And there is nothing wrong in doing this. However, we need to remember that running software in long term requires a bit more than just a server. First of all, it's security. How to protect this software, this service from unauthorized access. Another question is monitoring. How to be sure that this service is working properly, everything is fine there, and we can rely on it. Third dimension. How do we back up? What happens if it fails? Can we restore it? How fast? Are we sure we can restore it? Did we test it? So there are 3 additional dimensions. And while this sounds like engineering problems, in reality, these are liabilities. If you are getting some money for the software that relies on this imaginary service we are discussing about, we have to consider, is it okay? Is it safe? How it will affect people who are using our service? Can we make sure it's working the right way? Can we recover fast enough? Won't it affect customers too much? Do we have any legal requirements to recover this service? What happens if it fails? Previously, I was wondering, well, who needs this and this service and that service? It's so easy to have database on your own. It's so easy to have forms on your own. It's so easy to host whatever you want, like with containers, you can run anything in minutes. And then I started to do this once, twice, and more and more and more. And then I started to think, okay, I've got my own server. Okay, it's quite cheap, nice. But what happens if it fails? Since I'm using a dedicated server, I'm expecting hosting provider to take care of hardware, but it doesn't come with any guarantees that they had backup, that they will be able to restore it. Unluckily not. Probably if they would, I think that this would cost at least 3 times more, maybe even more. And you see, now I've been taking a look on backend as a service services, and because of unexpectedly high invoice that grew almost 3 times, I started to reconsider my decision. Is that the right thing to pay? So very fast I got the answer. No, at this point it's not worth it. I was happy to support the team. That's it. For now, there is no traffic, there is nothing in production, I don't need it. So what I started to do is I started to investigate and setting up the self-hosted version. And despite of spending time, I again got to the point where I started to ask questions like, oh, is this the service I want to take care of? I know how it works, I know how to back it up, and I want to restore. I tried to run it, some parts of it failed, so I decided to go and try a different approach. Probably I will release the comparison, like my opinion, and then share more about this. The outcome in this video is, despite of being engineer or being a specialist, technician or in technical area, it's still connected. So if you are eager to grow, you should at least acknowledge those other dimensions that are available within those dimensions that are framing the decisions. First of all, it becomes more interesting. Second, it helps to narrow options, to narrow down. Second, it helps to narrow down options very fast. Because turned out that, like, at least the easiest thing is to take a look on the license. Is it legally allowed to use this software for free without license to earn some money, like commercial use? Sometimes it's enough to cut 80% of options. Don't get me wrong, that's not the wrong thing. This is absolutely right. You create something, you want to be paid. That's amazing. You provide some service, you maintain it, you develop it, you add more features, you're working on that. You deserve that pay. But sometimes it just doesn't play well within specific environment. So take a look on the license. This is just the first thing. The next thing, how to back up, how to maintain, how to execute. Currently, I learned that, like, it's a shortcut. It's not a good thing, but if I want to try a software and it is not containerized, well, I'm not trying it. I became so lazy. Like, if it cannot be built and run as a most probably Docker container specifically, like, well, like, yeah, probably it's not worth it. Well, maybe there is a binary. Okay, it's fine to download the binary. But if that's something complex, like built and run like 3-4 services, you have to have your database, etc. Well, like, no, I don't want to do that. I want to say it's very interesting when you try to run your own business and think in 2 steps ahead. Like, how do I back up? How do I take care of legal aspects? How do I monitor it? How do I run it? And then it turns out that it's not so easy. It's much more easier to pay 10 or even $20 to someone else who will run it for you and will let it use, and they will let you use it with everything included. Why? Well, that's the business model of a scale. If you did it once, you can do it 100 times, 1,000 times, most probably 10,000 times, probably 1,000,000 times. Software scales. If you do it the right way, it scales. That's it. It might not be the most interesting, the most innovative software. If you know how to scale it, if it's cheap for you to scale, knowing how to scale software and knowing how to handle liabilities is already a great way to start thinking about the business. Just be fair. Thanks for watching this. Take care. Bye.